Peace, my name is Haven Bullis, and today I got to bring you this video. Tariq is he's just making it up now. It's like we already know that FBA is just a watered down version. It's just a apolitical version of ADOS, where Tariq is just using it to get money and sell t-shirts, right? We know that Tariq has said, and we know ADOS has said, according to their rules, if you have any quote-unquote black immigrant blood in your body, you ain't ADOS, you ain't FBA. Now, Tariq is trying to switch it up and say, well, yeah, if you have an FBA parent, you can still be FBA. He said it in this video. But if you watch the whole video, he contradicts himself so many times, it's ridiculous. Not only is he contradicting all the stuff he's been saying for years and all the stuff he's been co-signing for years, now he contradicts himself in the video. Because people in the comment sections were starting to say something about it. And then you know how Tariq will do. He'll just contradict himself in the moment, not caring, because he can say something else 5 minutes later or next day or next week, and people ain't going to say nothing about it. They're going to still just rock with him. Right? They still going to just rock with him. So now, Tariq, not only did he say that, but then not only did he flip-flop on that in this video, he now said, let me play this, because this is what I really want to talk about.
Puerto Rican coon. Hey, I'm black. We shouldn't get reparations either. Then we did some research on that nigga. He's Puerto Rican.
Look, he's talking about Coleman Cruz. Now he's calling him a Puerto Rican. But you see, that was one of the flip-flops right there. But here we go. I want to show you this.
So now, family, as foundational black Americans, we should not allow half FBA people whose family came over after 1970 to be spokespersons for us as a group. Unless, now there's a caveat to that, unless, there's a but to it, unless that person has a verified track record of loyalty and tangible contributions to the betterment of foundational black society on a grassroots level. The only way we will let a half FBA person be the spokesperson for us is if they have a tangible track record of doing things for the betterment of foundational black American society. You understand? You have to have a track record of loyalty, of doing things to better foundational black American society. You got to have a track record of doing it. If you got a track record of just running your fucking mouth and criticizing us, just keep shutting the fuck up.
So now, for somebody to speak on black issues, even if you're black, because then because earlier in this video, he said that if you have an FBA parent, you're FBA just like everybody else. So if you're FBA like everybody else, why then do you have to ask permission and give in a resume? Because now he's asking you to give him a resume. Like, who's checking this resume? Is it Tariq? And Tariq, where do we send this resume to? So now we got to get Tariq's permission. And not only do we have to get his permission, we got to have a resume showing our work and have experience, because he said you got to have been doing it for a long time. So this is like basically a job now, where you know how jobs say we need somebody who has at least 3 years experience, and we want you to have this certification, that certification, this one, that one. Well, that's what Tariq is saying now. Tariq will now certify people. This is beyond absurd. This is beyond absurd. And we know he's only talking about black immigrants because not only did he say that multiple times in his video, we know he said that, he's been saying that for years. And that's why he also threw in that 1970, because when people was calling him out on his goofiness, like bringing up Malcolm X, he said, well, his parents got here before 1970. So now 1970 is the golden number now. Well, that's the cutoff point. Like if your black immigrant blood in your family doesn't go back past 1970, You can't speak for us, which is again a contradiction because he attacked Roland Martin, and Roland Martin, I think one of his grandparents was Haitian, and they was here before 1970. So what is he talking about? What is he talking about? Family, this is just my brain hurt. I could barely talk. Like, this is getting beyond ridiculous with all the contradictions. And what was really extra funny about this is that he tried to use Nipsey Hussle as an example of somebody of when it's okay. Like, oh, I checked his resume. He did so much good stuff. So now again, and he said he did so much good stuff for me. So again, now it comes back to Tariq will decide whether you get to speak or not. And Tariq, as I can see, can revoke your ability to speak. Isn't this just what Yvette Carnell called ADOS out about doing? That this is blatantly xenophobic? And this is like treating your quote-unquote allies like pets? And no, what's really so funny is that people in the comment section had to start asking them, well, what about if somebody's half white? And we know that he wasn't talking about anybody half white because, again, we've been watching Tariq for years do this. We watched him co-sign ADOS, and we know they ain't talking about nobody half white. And we know damn sure he ain't never tell Peanut she can't speak on black issues either. Because we already brought this up to Tariq's attention years ago, and he basically laughed it off or played it off. So, what does he do? Because he was in the moment, and you know Tariq is just reading his comment section and just reacting off what people said. Somebody said something about, what about white people? He tried to throw Colin Kaepernick in there just to try to make it seem like this wasn't all about black immigrants, when we know it was all about black immigrants. Come on now. Let's be serious. Are you checking the genealogy of somebody who's half white, saying, well, when did the white people in your family get to this country? We know that's not the case. We know he's fraudulent. We know he's just trying to switch it up right now because a little bit of heat is on him. But we know what he really means because he constantly contradicts himself, and we know what he's been saying for years. This is beyond ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. And y'all, and the people who follow Tariq will be the first ones to cry about why other groups of people think black people stupid. They think black people stupid because they watching y'all big up this man saying, not only telling you bold-faced lies, but contradicting himself in the same video. In the span of literally 3 minutes, he contradicted himself 4 times. And you sitting there agreeing with what he's saying and sending him money, knowing damn well tomorrow he could be saying something else and he will cook you if you bring it up that he's contradicting himself and call you gay. Because he tried to call people gay before for saying, oh, you must be gay or something. If you watching a man and you could be like, well, you said this week and you said this that week, you must be gay. Or you worrying about what another man doing, you must be gay. So if somebody's watching you and paying attention to you and listening to what you have to say and actually taking your message to heart and then pointing out to you that, hey, you're giving out mixed signals, they must be gay. Or they was raised by hood rats. Because you know that's his other favorite one. You gay or you was raised by hood rats. This is beyond disgusting. Beyond disgusting. Matter of fact, let's play a little bit more of this. I think this is the part where he's going to talk about Nipsey and talk about what he did for him personally so Nipsey gets a pass.
That brings us to our brother Nipsey. Nipsey was a half foundational black American. His family was from Eritrea. His mother was foundational black American. But Nipsey did things for the foundational black American community. That brother was extremely loyal. That brother created all types of opportunities for foundational black Americans. That brother went out there in the streets and fought for foundational black Americans. That brother was a rider for foundational black Americans. Nipsey was different from some of these tethered coons. Nipsey is a great example of that. That's why we elevate that brother to a damn deity to a certain degree. We elevate that brother because he was a rider for us. He wasn't over here trying to exploit. That brother built and created all types of opportunities that folks don't even know about. That's a rider. That brother was a rider. Yeah? Nip was a real one. People like that, yes, because he has a track record of doing the right thing. He never tried to undermine us. He respected his Eritrean culture, but he respected us and did everything he could. Me personally, Nipsey did a lot of good shit for me personally. I'm telling you from personal experience with Nipsey. And then was a rider. People like that, yes. Our brother Colin Kaepernick. Colin's mother, his biological mother is white. Colin's dad is black, foundational Black American. But he's a rider. He put his life on the line and his career on the line for the betterment of black people. Colin Kaepernick is a rider. That's who we're talking about. You better have a track record of putting in work for foundational Black society. And even if you're not foundational Black American, even if you're from an immigrant class, we respect you, but we don't need anybody who's not from foundational Black American culture to act as a spokesperson